Good man, the Ukrainian Airline Pilot Association with you. Today is our story about the medical examination in Ukraine. Fast forward to 2010. Ministry of Transport and Communications. There is a Department of Aviation Medicine on one of the floors, and the head of the department. The position seems to be ordinary, but given the fact that pilots with valid licenses work in other offices, is a great cardinal. 4 years ago, in 2006, Ukraine declared the transition to the European rules for medical certification, but the pilots are still going through VLEK in the Soviet way. It's a semi-crime story about VLEK. VLEK, Medical Flight Expert Commission, Soviet analog of current medical certification. This latter combination was perhaps the most unpleasant for the pilots. Passing a VLEK means receiving a bread card for 1 year, and it continues from year to year. A therapist, a surgeon, a neuropathologist, an ophthalmologist, an otolaryngologist, and so on. Everyone sees you as an astronaut going into orbit. Every doctor must contribute to the safety of flights. God forbid somebody should sneeze in the flight deck. Here is a photo of the cockpit of the Antonov 24. No, it's a bad example. The Antonov 24 is anti-Soviet aircraft. Another video should be made about this aircraft. There are in the cockpits of Antonov 12 and Tupolev 134 the holes into the navigation's cockpit with plenty of instruments. Tupolev 154, captain, a co-pilot, a navigator, and a flight engineer. Everyone has their workplace, there are plenty of instruments, and the safety of the flight depends on everyone. And now we will transfer to the Boeing 737, Airbus 320, Embraer 190. There are only 2 pilots in the flight deck, and either of them is trained to steer the plane absolutely safely. Even flight attendants. Surely they cannot steer the aircraft, but should an emergency occur, they are trained to assist pilots by reading the checklist. Thanks to aircraft designers and thanks to the International Airline Pilot Association IFALPA, whose members work hand in hand with aircraft designers. Now, medical examination regulations allow a young man to make his dream come true if he has strong heart but not ideal eyesight, hearing, 1 kidney or artificial limb. But let's go back to the power broker. He was supposed to lose influence 4 years ago. For 4 years now, undergoing medical examination should have become much easier. However, staying in power, as there is a loophole. The right of the doctor examiner to prescribe additional checkups. This is Klondike for a Soviet bureaucrat. Here comes a well-known medical joke. There are no healthy people. There are instead people who are under-examined. And for pilots, it means that only a dead or greedy person cannot pass medical examination. In return, but let's mention that there are acting pilots working in this building as well. And one of them decided to fight openly. And in return, he gets open warning that his medical certificate will be stopped and he will be deprived of a possibility to fly. The conflict is escalating, but the pilot does not give up. Time comes to undergo medical examination. The head of medical examination board, for no reason, assigns him all kinds of additional checkups. The pilot passes them all and brings all the documents to the head of medical examination board. Then she makes a phone call to the superior. Dura is shouting into the phone, demanding to send the documents to him personally. And here comes the moment when one person is unable to manage this situation, because the attack is too brazen and too much is put at stake. So the trade union starts monitoring the situation. In a few days, The pilot is invited to the office of Aviation Medicine Department head, where a demand is made. If he passes examination from a psychophysiologist who is an acquaintance of the head, the pilot will get his meal ticket. Everybody is trying to put the pilot off doing that, as it means a sure death, but he is absolutely certain that he is right. So he successfully passes examination and brings the certificate. But to everybody's surprise, CIA deputy head gets a different document. The document which says about some deviation in the pilot's mental condition and contain demand to deprive him of his pilot's license. And this different document also has its number, date and the doctor's signature. So the pilot's career is over. This is country we live in, and there is nothing we can do about it. But maybe our country is not like this. Maybe it's too early to give up. Year of 2010. On the first floor of this building, in the doctor's office, there is a young girl sitting, a news administrator. Two young men enter the room and with a smile ask her to compare the dates of issue of the doctor's diagnosis with the dates in the visitor's log. The girl opens the visitor's log, starts checking, but suddenly the phone is ringing and the girl has to answer it. Then she goes and checking and tells the young man that yes, there is such a diagnosis, there is such a patient, and there is such an entry. The young people smile politely and say goodbye. They are colleagues, pilots from the trade union. A short-time distraction is enough to make sure that the medical conclusion with the date and number has been given to a different person. What happens next is just a matter of techniques. The pilot travels to Lithuania, where he passes European medical examination. The doctor, under thorough monitoring from the trade union, stopped prescribing additional checkups. Alternative medical examination boards appear, as well as alternative doctor's examiner in aviation medicine. And this is only one case. I think situation like this took place all over the country at that time. The country was going through changes. The people started to believe they were able to change their own life. The people stopped thinking it was enough just to come and vote, and then somebody would do everything for us, like traffic rules have been adopted and nobody runs red light anymore, like freedom has been declared and we all are free now. No, Ukrainians are not what they used to be. We are different now.